Hey everybody, I'm East Coast Pete. Welcome to my Mid-Rock Crisis. Any Tom Petty fans out there? I'm sure there must be. Tom Petty was born in 1950 and he died in 2017. He was from the second wave of baby boomers. That's my group. He was a newer kind of singer-songwriter. Hadn't seen his light. The Heartbreakers, they formed in 1976 from members of Mudcrutch in Gainesville, Florida. Tom's interest in music began around the age of 10, and in 1960 that meant Elvis. Tom's uncle was employed at a set builder for the movie Follow That Dream. It's one of Elvis's many B movies. Tom's uncle took him to work to meet Elvis Presley, and Tom was starstruck. And he became a devoted fan, but it wasn't until he saw the Ed Sullivan Show 2 years later, the Beatles show, that he decided that he wanted to be in a band. And after that show, garage bands were springing up everywhere, like shrooms. Tom dropped out of high school to play bass in his band, and of course his father went nuts. The relationship was iffy to outright abusive anyway. His father's disapproval only made Tom's resolve more firm. That's how people in that age group deal with stuff, with rebellion. Tom was close to his mom though. He loved his little brother, and his mom did everything to keep him from running away from home, keep him from bolting. This was how Tom's band was supported. He was surrounded by friends because his mom said, "Come and play in our living room." Not when his father was home though. The band was called the Epics, and they evolved into Mudcrutch. Future Heartbreakers Mike Campbell and Benmont Tench became well known in and around Gainesville. They recorded a demo which became his single named Depot, but it didn't chart. Petty, Tench, Campbell, and Ron Blair and Stan Lynch were the first Heartbreakers. The first album enjoyed a moderate popularity. The single Breakdown would be re-released in 1977 and climbed to number 40 in the UK after the band toured England with Nils Lofgren. The second album, You're Gonna Get It, was their first top 40, and their third album, Damn the Torpedoes, went platinum. Singles Don't Do Me Like That, Here Comes My Girl, and Refugee spread across the airwaves day and night. Looks like the Heartbreakers were for real. Stevie Nicks, who was on hiatus with Fleetwood Mac, did her first duet with Tom on the fourth album, Hard Promises, and the duet single was Insider. These were more love-lost songs than typical love songs. Tom in his way and Stevie in hers were relating to all of us who'd been hurt in a relationship. That's pretty much all of us. Her fifth album, Long After Dark, was released. Ron Blair left. Howie Epstein took over on bass, and this was the lineup that was stable until 1994. Don't Come Around Here No More, the MTV video, portrayed Tom as the Mad Hatter. Bob Dylan invited the Heartbreakers to join his True Confessions tour, and the Heartbreakers also played some dates with the Grateful Dead. Petty co-wrote Jammin' Me with Bob Dylan. From 88 to 91, Tom was taking a break from touring. He joined Dylan on the Traveling Wilburys product. This was George Harrison's extension of the non-band recording group, similar to Sgt. Pepper. ELO's Jeff Lynne and a fully seasoned Roy Orbison completed the non-quintet. The idea was simple: friends playing and composing with no pressure from labels. Profit was not the driving force, but the two albums they put out were successful nonetheless. They had to be. They were a super non-group with 5 of the best and most successful songsters from both sides of the pond and no pressure. The happy-go-lucky attitude translated to the music, and they all had stage names. The name Wilburys was taken from Harrison's Cloud 9 recording sessions, referring to technical problems that would arise. He joked with the crew, said, "Don't worry, we'll bury him in the mix." We'll bury him in the mix. Yeah. All right, no. True story. George Harrison was Spike Wilbury. Manager Jeff Lynne was Clayton Wilbury, the producer. Tom Petty was Muddy Wilbury, a frontman. Bob Dylan was Boo Wilbury, the other. And they were all half-brothers. I'm not sure how the family tree branched, but Roy Orbison, Lefty Wilbury, passed away before the release of the second album, titled Wilburys Volume 3. Roy's passing was no surprise. His health had been steadily declining. What was great was that we all got to see Roy Orbison's last performances, and it looked like he was having a good time. In 1989, the Heartbreakers are back with a rejuvenated Tom. The new album, Full Moon Fever, singles were I Won't Back Down, Free Fallin', and Running Down a Dream. It was technically a Tom Petty solo album, but the Heartbreakers appeared in '91 Into the Great Wide Open, produced by Jeff Lynne. Petty had left MCA, but before switching to the new label, he released Mary Jane's Last Dance. With Running Down a Dream, my 2 favorite Tom Petty songs. He also released a cover of Thundercat Newman's Something in the Air, and it was all included on a Greatest Hits package, which achieved diamond status. That means 10 million sold. Petty signed with Warner. He played on Johnny Cash's Walls, and it won a Grammy. George Harrison passed away from lung cancer, and the Heartbreakers played at a tribute for George. And in 2002, The Last DJ single was about the decline of radio music and how DJs choosing what songs to play was going by the wayside. 2006, the Heartbreakers were at the Bonnaroo Fest with Stevie Nicks, Black Crowes, Pearl Jam, and the Allman Brothers. Petty and Nicks' duet Stop Dragging My Heart Around was the high point. In 2007, Mud Crutch Reunion, and this album was released on iTunes. If it's still there, I have to have a look at that. In 2008, the Heartbreakers at the Super Bowl 52, the halftime show, and that was memorable. 2012, the Heartbreakers World Tour was the first in 20 years. 2014, Hypnotic Eye album went to number 1. In 2017, was the 40th anniversary tour of the Heartbreakers. It was the last show, and it was the last show at the Hollywood Bowl. Back in 1974, way back in 1974 now, Petty married Jane Benue. At the time, she told Stevie Nicks that she had met Petty at the age of 17, but Nicks thought she said the edge of 17. She had this thick Florida southern drawl. It's a true story. You know, Tom Petty was into transcendental meditation secretly. He was also into heroin. From 96 to 99, he told no one. He was stressed out from his divorce. He used heroin to blunt the pain. Mary Jane. He kicked out a treatment center. This wasn't known until it was revealed in a biography written by Warren Zanes. Petty was found unconscious at his home. He was in cardiac arrest. He was resuscitated. He was taken to UCLA Medical Center in Santa Monica. He died there 2 weeks before his 67th birthday. The death certificate said the cause of death was from mixed drug toxicity. The autopsy found fentanyl, oxycodone, antidepressants, and sedatives. His wife said he had emphysema and knee difficulties and a fractured hip. The pain was unbearable, so he OD'd on his scripts. He needed hip surgery, but he put it off to finish the tour. And no one knew this. He wasn't a complainer, but he is remembered as a pioneer in alt-rock turned mainstream, and he would not cater to his label. They worked for him, not he for them. He was a tough guy. My band used to play Tom Petty songs. They'd Running Down a Dream. We actually played the hell out of Running Down a Dream. I played the 12 string, played up high on the neck, and sang in high harmony, if you can believe it. We had this other guy in the band with a kind of a junkyard dog vocal, rough and scratchy as hell. We had a guy who played banjo and also mandolin, another guitarist. We also had a young lady who sang, and she was a little bit bashful about it, but not on Tom Petty songs. She really sang Free Fallin' real well. Never forget. So we played those songs and we had that fun, and it's a good part of my life going back then. We never forget it. You know. Can't sing so well anymore. Can't play. I got trigger finger in my left hand. So instead I put out this show because I still love the songs and I still love the artists. And I wish we could get more artists to come to the focus, make records, and save rock, because we got to. What are we going to do without it? Thanks, everybody. Come back soon and see me on Mid-Rock Crisis.